I never pay for dates. Men buy me coffee. Men buy me flowers. Men buy me expensive gifts. I smile. I flirt. And they spend money. It always works. Then I meet a man who changes everything. A man who already knows exactly who I am. My name is Sophie. I am 24 years old. People call me beautiful. I know they are right. Whenever I enter a room, men notice me. Whenever I smile, they become interested. I learned how to use that a long time ago. Life becomes easier when people want something from you. At least, that's what I believe. I never look for love. Love is complicated. Love disappoints people. I prefer simple things. A free dinner. A new handbag. A nice necklace. Men enjoy buying gifts. I enjoy receiving them. Everyone gets what they want. That is how I justify it. That is how I avoid feeling guilty. One Friday night, my friend invites me to a party. The place is crowded. Music fills the room. People are laughing. That is when I see him. He stands near the window. Unlike everyone else, he is not trying to impress anyone. And somehow that catches my attention. His name is Daniel. He is handsome. But that is not the interesting part. The interesting part is that he seems completely uninterested in me. Most men stare. Most men flirt. Daniel simply says hello. Then he continues talking to his friends. For the first time in years, I feel ignored, and I hate it. The next day, I find his social media. I send him a message. Normally, men reply immediately. Daniel takes 6 hours. 6 long hours. When he finally answers, he acts completely normal. No flirting, no compliments. Nothing. For some reason, that makes me want his attention even more. A week later, he asks me to dinner. I smile. Finally, the game begins. I choose an expensive restaurant. I order the most expensive meal. I expect him to be impressed. Instead, he simply listens while I talk. It feels strange. Most men only talk about themselves. Daniel asks questions. At the end of the dinner, he pays. Of course he does. That part is normal. What surprises me is what happens next. He does not ask me for anything. No expectations. No pressure. No attempts to impress me. He simply says goodnight and walks away. I spend the entire night thinking about him. Over the next month, we spend more time together. He buys me coffee. He buys me lunch. But somehow, it feels different. Daniel never acts like he is buying my attention. He treats everyone the same way. The waiter, the cashier, the old man sitting alone. Kindness seems natural to him. I don't understand people like that. One afternoon, we walk through a shopping center. I stop in front of a luxury store. A beautiful handbag catches my eye. I mention it on purpose. Normally, this is enough. Most men get the hint immediately. Daniel looks at the bag, then he smiles. It's nice, and keeps walking. I stare at him in disbelief. For the first time, my usual tricks stop working. Daniel never chases me. Daniel never tries to buy my affection. Yet somehow, he stays. The more time we spend together, the more confused I become. This is not how things usually go. I am supposed to control the situation. Instead, I feel like I am losing control. One evening, my friend asks if I like him. I immediately say no. She laughs. You smile every time his name appears. I deny it again. But later that night, I stare at my phone. A message from Daniel appears. My heart reacts before my brain does. And suddenly, my friend's words become harder to ignore. The next few weeks pass quickly. We talk almost every day, sometimes until midnight, sometimes until sunrise. I tell him things I never tell anyone, my fears, my mistakes, my dreams. Daniel never judges me. He simply listens. And for the first time in years, I feel safe with someone. One night I decide to tell him the truth. Not everything, just enough. I want him to know I'm not a good person. I want him to know I use people. I stare at the message for 20 minutes. Then I delete it. Fear wins again. What if he leaves? A few days later, Daniel introduces me to his family. His parents are warm. His sister is kind. Everyone treats me like I belong there. The feeling makes me uncomfortable. I am not used to genuine kindness. As I leave, his sister hugs me. Then she whispers something strange. Thank you for making him smile again. That night, I cannot stop thinking about those words. Making him smile again? What does that mean? The next day, I ask Daniel. His expression changes immediately. The smile disappears. For the first time since I meet him, he looks sad. Then he says something unexpected. There are things about me you don't know. And suddenly, I am afraid of the answer. The next few days feel different. Daniel still smiles. Daniel still jokes. But something changes. Something feels heavier. Every time I ask about his sister, he changes the subject. Every time I ask about his past, he becomes quiet. For the first time, I realize I know very little about him, and I want to know everything. One afternoon, I visit his family's house again. Daniel is upstairs. His sister is making tea. We sit together in the kitchen. She smiles at me. Then she asks a strange question. Do you really care about my brother? The question catches me off guard, because for the first time, I think the answer might be yes. His sister looks relieved. Then she tells me a story. A year ago, she dates someone. At first, everything seems perfect. The man is charming. The man is sweet. The man buys gifts. Then he starts using her, lying to her, manipulating her, breaking her trust. Her voice begins to shake. And suddenly I cannot look her in the eyes. I know people like that, because I am one of them. My stomach twists. For the first time, I feel ashamed. Real shame. Not the kind that disappears after a few minutes. The kind that stays. The kind that forces you to see yourself clearly. And what I see is not someone I like. That night, I sit alone in my apartment. I think about every gift, every lie, every fake smile, every man I use. For years, I convince myself nobody gets hurt. Now I realize I never want to know the truth, because the truth is uncomfortable. The truth has faces. The truth has feelings. The truth cries. The next morning, I decide to tell Daniel everything. I rehearse the words again and again. But when I see him, fear returns. What if he hates me? What if he leaves? What if I lose the only person I truly care about? So once again, I stay silent. And silence becomes another lie. A few days later, Daniel invites me to dinner. The restaurant is simple, nothing fancy, nothing expensive. Yet I enjoy it more than any luxury place. Halfway through the meal, Daniel suddenly asks, "Do you believe people can change?" My heart immediately starts racing, because I know he is not asking by accident. I stare at my plate. "I don't know," I answer. Daniel nods slowly. Then he tells me something surprising. Everyone makes mistakes. I look at him. But not everyone stays the same. His words stay with me long after dinner ends. And somehow they hurt more than criticism ever could. The next week, I accidentally see an old photo in his apartment. Daniel and his sister are smiling, but something catches my attention. A hospital bracelet on her wrist. When I ask about it, Daniel becomes quiet. Then he finally speaks. After what happened, she falls into depression. My chest tightens immediately. Daniel looks away. I almost lose her. The room becomes silent. I cannot breathe. I cannot move. Suddenly, the story becomes real. This is not just heartbreak. This is pain. This is damage. This is a family trying to survive something terrible. And I spend years creating that same kind of pain for others. That night, I cry for hours. Not because someone hurts me, because I finally understand the hurt I cause. For years, I blame everyone else. For years, I call myself smart. Now I see the truth. I am not clever. I am scared. I use people because I am afraid they will use me first. The next day, I ask Daniel to meet me. My hands shake. My voice shakes. Everything shakes. Then I tell him everything. The gifts, the lies, the manipulation, the way I use men. The truth spills out of me like a confession. When I finish, I cannot look at him. Several seconds pass. Then Daniel speaks. I know. I freeze. I slowly lift my head. What? He sighs. I know from the beginning. The world seems to stop. Every sound disappears. Every thought disappears. Only one question remains. If he knows. Why is he still here? Daniel looks at me with sad eyes. The first day I meet you, I recognize the signs. He tells me everything. His sister, her heartbreak, her depression, the months of suffering. He knows exactly what kind of person I am. Tears fill my eyes. Then why do you stay? For a moment he says nothing. Then he smiles. Because I see something nobody else sees. I stare at him. You keep taking from people because you're afraid. Afraid they'll leave. Afraid they'll hurt you. Afraid you're not enough. Tears run down my face. Then he says the words that change my life. I stay because I believe you're capable of becoming better. And because somewhere along the way, I fall in love with you. For the first time, I don't know what to say. So I simply cry. And for the first time in my life, I stop pretending. For years, I think love is about what people give me. Money, gifts, attention. I am wrong. Love is not what someone buys for you. Love is what someone sees in you when you cannot see it yourself. The coffee, the right person does not ignore your flaws, the way he always appears when I need him. Then I reach the last line. The greatest gift anyone can give you is the chance to become a better person than you were yesterday. For the first time in months, I smile through my tears.